What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into our NFL show of the week. Myself, Mr. Bryson Owens, and Mr. Anthony Hirsch. We got a great show for you guys today. We are breaking down the last two NFL games before the Super Bowl. So it is championship weekend, NFC, AFC. Gentlemen, let's jump straight in here, get to business. We are going to be covering the spread for every game, the total for every game, and our favorite touchdown scores as well. So you guys enjoy the show. We're going to try to knock this out as quickly as we can for you guys. But we are starting here with the Chiefs and the Ravens. This obviously a very big game, a lot of implications here. Anthony, Chiefs, man, 3.5-point dogs on the road in Baltimore. They just won on the road last weekend, taking on Josh Allen and the Bills. Do they walk in here again and pull off another upset?
I just don't see it. I'm going to be laying the points with Baltimore here, and I really do believe this one because if Baltimore wins this game, I just don't see a way that it's within a field goal. I feel like if it's going to be that close of a margin, then it's going to be an outcome where late in the fourth quarter, the ball's going to end up in Patrick Mahomes' hands last, and that's the last thing that the Ravens want. If they win this game, they're going to have to do it early. They're going to have to really put a hurting on this Chiefs defense early, and I think they can. I mean, just taking a look at last week, I don't know what it was, but the run defense just freaking fell apart. Like any time that Josh Allen took the ball on either a designed run or some of these scrambles, where his first, second options aren't there, sees a little bit of room down the field, he's going to take off. Lamar is the best in the league at doing that. And then also with Dalvin Cook in there, this is the dangerous running back room. They ran for 269 last week. Just unbelievable number right there. I think it's going to be really difficult for this Chiefs defense to consistently stop them. If they just have a drive or two that fails, then I just don't see a way in which they're going to win this game. Bryson, how do you see this one shaping up?
Yeah, I'm with you on the spread there, Anthony. I'm taking Baltimore on this one. It's really dangerous. I'm fading the Chiefs again, and it's never a good idea to fade the Chiefs in the playoffs. It's proven time and time again. Patrick Mahomes just beats you whenever you do that to him. He's 13-3 in his career in the playoffs with pretty much MVP-like numbers for a full season. So hats off to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I didn't think they'd get it done against the Bills. I think the big thing that's different between playing the Ravens and the Bills is the Chiefs just have this like psychological something in the Bills' mind where they just throw them off their game. Like you mentioned, Anthony, the run game for the Bills was really working in the first half. Cook was running really well. Allen was scrambling really well. And then the second half came around, and it's like the Chiefs did something to the Bills to just completely flip the switch. And then Josh Allen didn't know how to play football for a half of that game. Like it was remarkable to see just how like intimidating that team is to the Buffalo Bills. I think this Baltimore Ravens team is completely different mentally. I think they're loaded on both sides of the ball. The run game for the Ravens, like you mentioned, Anthony, statistically best in the NFL. And the eye test looks it with Lamar Jackson in this run game. But then the defense for the Ravens, I think, is going to be the key here because that defense shut down C.J. Stroud in that offense a week ago in the second half. It was tied at 10, and then Houston couldn't move the ball on them. And I think part of the difference is between the Bills' really good defense and the Ravens' really good defense is neither team has very good corners, and Patrick Mahomes took advantage of that with really good protection, time in the pocket, and just had time to find his favorite targets when he needed them. Baltimore's the best team at getting the quarterback this season. They led the league in sacks. They proved that last week against Stroud. Stroud never had a second to be comfortable in that pocket. I think that's going to be something that gives the Ravens the edge here. Is while the Ravens cornerback play isn't great, I think they're good enough to at least give that pass rush time to get to Patrick Mahomes in this game. So I think it's going to be a lot of run game for the Ravens and then that elite defense shutting down Kansas City, leading to the Baltimore covering that spread.
I am going to go with Baltimore here, man. Look, I don't like the 3.5 though. Like I can't even lie. I think laying 3.5 that's probably one of the scariest things you can do. I will lay 3. If I have to buy it down to minus 120 to lay 3, I guess I will. But I am going to go with just the Ravens to win this football game. I think Bryson mentioned it. The defense for me, that is it. The Bills defense, even though everybody else had them up here, Anthony got killed on YouTube weeks ago because he said that defense just ain't it, right? And they proved to not be it. They gave up 27, should have been 34, but that mofo fumbled the damn ball when I needed Mahomes to score a touchdown. Okay. So look, flashbacks. Okay. PTSD still hitting me here, but I just believe that they should have put up 34 plus on that football team. They're not putting up 34 on the Baltimore. They're not putting up 27 on Baltimore. I think the first team to 24 is going to win this football game, and I don't see Kansas City getting to 24, maybe 20, maybe 21, and at that point, 23 is going to win the game for Baltimore. I just believe that Baltimore's defense is too good, and even though I like Kansas City, and I was on Kansas City last week, I don't think fading Mahomes at the spread is the greatest idea, but money line wise, they got to go on the road again. I see it kind of building up on them. I don't think the elements matter for either team here. Patrick Mahomes has played in more hostile environments than anybody else throughout his playoff run. So I just believe overall that the Baltimore Ravens are the better football team. And it scares me because sometimes Lamar Jackson, I don't know when he's going to crap the bed and go cold, but I think both quarterbacks are going to have moments in this game where they go cold 3 and out 2 or 3 times in a row, and they're just looking frustrated. So with that, I'm going to segue into my pick here on the total, and I'm going to go under the 44.5 points here. If you can find 45, obviously, I think you got to take it. I said 24-21. Well, that'd be over, but I'm going to go under 45 points. I'll still go under at 44.5 as well. I think defenses step up. I think that's probably going to be in the realm of 23-20-ish. So it's going to be close, but is there a world that Kansas City gets held to 16 or 17 points? I think that there is, and I don't see Baltimore scoring more than 24 points in this game. So I'm going to go under 44.5. Bryson, what you doing, man?
I'm with you there. I'm with you on the under here. These are the number 1 and number 2 scoring defenses in the NFL this season. The Baltimore Ravens held teams to 16.5 points, and the Chiefs held teams to 17.3. Like, these defenses are elite. They're so good. They're so loaded everywhere. The physicality with which these two teams play defense is remarkable to see in today's football because it's not very common that it happens. So not only the defenses, but I think it's going to be a lot of running on both sides. I don't see a lot of explosive. Last week the Chiefs had, I think, 8 20-plus yard plays. I don't see that happening in this one. I see both teams really pounding the rock, really draining clock. I think it's going to happen because Baltimore is going to make a point to not let the Chiefs have the ball as much as they can. They're going to drain clock as many times as they can. So I have it somewhere in the 21-17 type game.
Hirsch.
And I'm close there. I'm close there, but I got to go against you guys. I see the over hitting. I don't see it hitting by too much. Like, I see the score being around 27-20, 27-21 Ravens over the Chiefs here. I mean, just taking a look at last week, what I saw from this Ravens offense, that was the most impressive showing I have seen all year from these guys. I mean, we see the likes of Zay Flower really stepping up. I mean, he, for the first time in a while, looked like a true number 1 receiver. He was doing just mind-boggling stuff in open space when he got the ball, getting away from defenders where it looked like he had no shot to get away. OBJ's really been, solidified as this kind of number 2 guy. He's been really good in the slot. And they're also getting Mark Andrews back this week. I feel like it's going to be really tough for the Chiefs to withstand the rush game and then also the passing game. I feel like, maybe earlier in the game they're able to, but at a certain point there's going to be some holes and it can come through the rushing game, the passing game. I see the Ravens putting up about 27 this game. And then as for the Chiefs, I don't see the offense doing quite what they did last week. I think that the Ravens will effectually take out Travis Kelce from this game. I don't see him being a factor. They have a much better linebacker room. They are going to come in with a solid game plan, how to limit Kelce. But I still do think that Rashee Rice, MVS, we saw him get going a little bit last week. I could see this team breaking through for 3 touchdowns. Also, that running back room with Pacheco, McKinnon, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire there has been really good, and it's been heating up every week.
I got to throw out one thing out there because I know one thing Anthony Hirsch doesn't like to do is he doesn't like to be where the public is. Well, guess what, Anthony? 70% of the bets are on the over in this game. I didn't want to throw the number out there beforehand because I just wanted to see what you guys were going to do. But 70% are on the over. Sharp bettors are on the under. Anthony, I don't think anyone can blame you with this quarterback matchup and so much on the line for going over. I think you have a good point there. But we're all kind of in that realm. We're saying somewhere around 40 to 47. It's going to be close. It's probably going to come down to a game-winning drive. Whoever has the ball last, which Anthony has it being Kansas City. And if it's Kansas City, he said they're going to win the game and they're going to go over. I think that works out for you. Bryson and I on the flip side, I think we're going to need the Ravens to win the football game by trying to stay on the under, and they're going to need a stop at the end of the game in order to stay under 44.5. So it probably will come down to the final drive. Give me the number 1 defense in the NFL to make a stop when they need to, unfortunately, against the quarterback who does not get stopped on the final drive. So It's going to be fun watching it happen. But guys, looking here at our touchdown scores on the board, Lamar Jackson plus 105 to get in anytime. He is the favorite to get in on DraftKings. Gus Edwards at 130, Pacheco 125, Kelsey now down to 120. I find that interesting. He was plus 150 last week against a much less competent defense. Rashee Rice at 135. Mark Andrews appears to be back for this one. And then that guy that scored last week, Isaiah Likely, checking back in at that plus 180 number. Anthony, who's your one pick here?
I got to go Lamar Jackson. I know, I'm not doing the exciting pick. I'm not doing the crazy pick out there. But I see Lamar at plus money to run the ball in, coming off a week where he already ran the ball for 2 touchdowns. Give it to me all day. I already talked about the flaws in this Kansas City defense, the flaws in the running defense that got exposed last week. I see that repeating itself here this week. I see Lamar running crazy. He's going to run for at least 1 touchdown this game, possibly more. Bryson, where do you see? Do you like Lamar on this one, or are you looking at another guy?
I mean, you took my guy Lamar, and a lot of it is what you hit on. I thought that the team made a good point to not overuse Lamar's legs in the regular season. He didn't run the ball a ton this year. Last week, the team said, "Screw it, Lamar run all over the place." So I love your Lamar pick. Outside of him, I'm probably going to look at a guy like Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews should be playing in this game. He's Lamar's favorite target. But Isaiah Likely has really emerged as a really solid second option for Lamar over the last back half of the season. And while the Chiefs have excellent corners, their cornerback play is phenomenal. Their safeties, a little bit sketchy sometimes. You can beat those safeties sometimes. If Lamar Jackson scrambles out of the pocket, I wouldn't be surprised if Isaiah Likely gets left behind and they focus so much on stopping Lamar on the run.
Okay. Well, I think we all like Lamar Jackson. I guess that is what it is. But I'm not taking him to score. I think he has a good game, but I'm not taking him to score. Anthony and I were debating this on the What's Your Take show, man. And I'm telling you right now, even though I had to be very careful with my wording on that show, I said something along the lines of, I think Josh Allen was more of a scary, punishable runner than Lamar Jackson is going to be against the Chiefs because of the way Josh Allen runs the football. Not only is he fast, but he's big. He can truck you. He doesn't have to slide before. He's happy to lower his shoulder and run through you. And I can't say that about Lamar. I think Lamar does a lot with his legs, but I think at some point he slides inside the 5-yard line. And when he does that, I'm going to go with his other guy there, Gus Edwards, to finish off what Lamar started and get in at plus 130. I think even if Lamar scores, I still see Gus Edwards scoring if I have the Ravens to win the game. And I know that the Chiefs, yes, they're pretty good against running backs, but they're not unstoppable. And Gus Edwards is a hard downhill runner. I love the way the kid runs the football. So that's our 3 guys, Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, and Isaiah Likely. No Chiefs on the entire board for us. So, hey, good luck to you guys in that one. Should be fun. Time to jump on over and look at the NFC Championship. This should be a fun one as well. You got the Lions and the 49ers. Lions, man, they are coming into this one pretty sizable underdogs to the point where some people believe it's a little bit disrespectful. 7 points on the road in San Francisco. Let us remind you, a San Francisco team that escaped beating the Green Bay Packers. Taking a look here at this line, man. 7 points for the 49ers, Bryson. You have to lay a whole touchdown. Are you willing to do it?
Absolutely not. I have the Lions covering this one, and I'm going to take it one step further, guys. I have the Lions winning this game. I think the Lions are playing better than the 49ers are right now. Unfortunately, I don't want to say any of this and take anything away with what Brock Purdy has done this season because I know people are going to come after him if they lose this game, saying he's not worth the starting quarterback. I think Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback in this league, so it's nothing against him. But the 49ers are different when they don't have Deebo Samuel. He is 50-50, as they said, to play in this game. They're 8-9 since they've had since they drafted Deebo in games he doesn't play. That's not great. And you saw last week, Brock Purdy in this offense, Kyle Shanahan, they call a different game without Deebo Samuel. It's a lot more Christian McCaffrey dependent. And this Lions defense, one of the best in the NFL at stopping the run this year. They are second in the NFL against the run so far. They showed it so far in the playoffs. They've done really well so far. I think this Lions team is also one of the few teams in the NFL that can match the Niners best player for best player. Like they are this roster is stacked. They have playmakers all over the field. I think their defense is playing the best they've played all season at the right time. And I think this is Jared Goff and that Lions team's time. I think they're going to get it done.
Bryson, I am so happy.
You know what? Go ahead.
Yeah. Give me my time here, Rick. Give me my time here. Bryson, I'm so happy you're on this train because it's the correct train to be on. I absolutely love Detroit in this game. I'm also going to be taking them on the money line because I think they win this one outright. Taking a look at Detroit, man, I mean, they have done everything right leading up to these 2 weeks. Not only is Jared Goff cooking, I mean, last week the dude was 30 for 43, 287, 2 touchdowns. They're the best running back duo in the entire game of football, and David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs right there. Gibbs only had 9 rushes last week. He still had 74 yards and a touchdown. Look, I know that the 49ers run defense has been good the entire year, but they're not going to be able to stop both of these guys in the second that they let one of these guys escape for a big play. Then they're going to be turning to the play action play and going to Amon-Ra down the field. That's going to be the game plan for these guys. And as for the 49ers secondary, I'm not impressed. I think that the Lions might have a ton of shots to take shots down the field. I think their tight ends are going to go crazy. Laporte is going to have a fantastic game. Look, I do think this is going to be a thriller. I think this could go down as one of the most memorable NFC championship games of the past 5 years. I mean, the 49ers have been a part of a couple of them over the past decade or so. I think it's going to be another one, but it's going to be the Detroit Lions taking it all the way to the Super Bowl for the city, for the town, for the fans, Riggs. What do you got to say about that?
Shout out to that new show on Netflix. It's called Dumb Money. That's called Dumb Money. Do not put your money on the Detroit Lions in this game, folks. I'm here to tell you right now, you guys want to go ahead and send me a DM on Monday morning, you can go ahead and DM me. Thank you for not putting your money on the Detroit Lions. If they lose, don't find me on Twitter. I'll be in Cancun. Don't worry about that. But I'm telling you right now, man, Debo in, Debo out, Debo don't matter in this game. They don't even need him to win this football game. If he plays, obviously, like Bryson mentioned, totally helps them. Absolutely. But I don't think it's going to hurt them if he doesn't play necessarily. Last game, not only did they come off a week off, but they also didn't really know until kind of the last minute that Debo wasn't going to play in the game. As where in this one, or just kind of what happened, it happened so quickly. But in this one, they can plan the entire week knowing that he's not going to be there. They're back in their rhythm. They went on a game-winning drive. I've been saying it all week, and that's why I'm making all these faces, because I can't believe that Bryson just jumped on the train of the Lions. I've been hearing Anthony for 48 hours telling me that. I can't hear it again, man. I can't do it. I believe Jared Goff's going to go on the road and he's going to choke. And that's just flat out. I like the Lions. I like Dan Campbell. I like Jared Goff, but he doesn't play well on the road. And he really doesn't play well when he's not playing indoors. And spoiler alert, it's not indoors. It might not be a crazy game in the snow or anything like that, but as long as it's not raining and Brock Purdy's little hands ain't slipping, then I don't see how Jared Goff's going to hang in this game and go shot for shot. He's not going to succeed against that defense. Yes, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are good running backs, but they're not Christian McCaffrey. And I don't care. You can go ahead and say that the Lions rush defense is good. They're good, but they're not going to stop Christian McCaffrey. You mean the guy that won the game for him last week? You mean the guy that should be the MVP? You mean the guy that just continues to score damn near every game of his life? They can't stop him. Nobody can stop him. And most importantly, everybody's writing off Brock Purdy. Every time that happens, Brock Purdy comes back with a 300-plus yard game and 3 or 4 touchdowns, and it's setting up perfectly against a pathetic that Baker Mayfield could not expose them. He is going to expose this Lions pass defense. Just wait. If the Lions can't put up 30 points, they can't win this football game. And guess what? They can't put up 30 points here. So, Anthony, I'm going to let you go ahead and jump in here on this total, man, because I just said 30 points. Unless you think it's going to be 34-31 Detroit Lions, which they're not putting up that many points here, how exactly is there going to be enough points here for them to win this football game? But anyway, hey, let's take a look at the over-under. Okay, you know what? Sir, before we go on in, I'll let you guys have any closing thoughts. Any closing thoughts here? All I can tell you is Detroit Lions lose the football game. They might cover, but they're going to lose. And to be honest with you, I don't think they cover. I think the score of this football game is 31-20, San Francisco 49ers. And with that, I'm pushing on the spread. So my pick is irrelevant. Anthony, where are you going?
I just don't see how you're able to say that coming off of a week where the 49ers put up 24 points against a pitiful Packers defense. Well, they looked a little bit better, but that's what it was.
They
It was
shut
a
down
pitiful
Dak.
Packers defense. Yeah, it's Dak. Come on now. You know better
Don't
than
do that.
anyone.
Don't do
Dak,
that. They
anyone
scored
can do that.
41
Come
points
on
a game.
now.
41 points a game they scored. Don't tell me that. On average.
I'm
And all of a sudden
talking.
against the
Okay,
Packers, they suck.
let's set the precedent here. We said that this is a team that builds off momentum. You said yourself that they did not pick up any momentum last week. You put up 24 points against a pitiful defense. I just cannot believe that they're going to put up 10 more points, a much better defense, who over the last half of the season has actually been one of the better defenses in the league. I mean, we saw it in the last game. Their pass defense is finally starting to pick it up. And Aiden Hutchinson, man, he's going to blow up this 49ers O-line. It's one of the better ones in the league, but I still believe he's going to be getting pressure to Brock Purdy consistently. They're able to do that. I think that Brock Purdy is going to throw an interception or two in this game, and that's going to be the difference maker. They don't have to put up
Brock Purdy gets the
34
ball
points.
out so quickly. He gets the ball out so quick. It doesn't matter. Aiden Hutchinson's not going to be sacking Brock Purdy all day long. I'm here to tell you right now.
I don't know.
They're either going to hand the ball off or Purdy's going to go screen, slant across the middle, screen, slant, screens. And that's all they got to do. What Aiden Hutchinson might get a sack and a half in this game. Maybe, but that's not enough to win the football game. So anyway, all right.
I think it could be. I mean, one other point I wanted to make was you mentioned earlier, Anthony, San Francisco's good offensive line by Pro Football Focus ranks 21st in the NFL. That's below average. And the Detroit Lions this season have been the best team in the NFL at pressuring the quarterbacks. The Ravens lead the league in sacks, but the Lions pressure the quarterback more than any team in the NFL. And one thing that Brock Purdy really struggles with is if you can get to his face enough times, I don't care how quick he gets the ball off, if you can get to Brock Purdy in this game enough times, he's going to get rattled and make a mistake like Anthony said. And Aiden Hutchinson, 8 sacks in his last 4 games. He's been on a tear, and I'm really worried that this defensive front and this pass rush for the Lions is going to cause havoc on Brock Purdy in this game.
Here's the thing. Even if Brock Purdy makes a couple mistakes, even if he holds the ball too long a couple times, even if he eventually throws an interception or does something stupid, Jared Goff's about to throw 3 of them. So I'm here to tell you right now, you guys can say whatever you want about Brock Purdy. He's going to dice this defense. And even if Hutchinson plays the game of his career in this game, I don't think Jared Goff, on top of Brock Purdy playing bad, is going to play a great football game. I just don't see both things happening. I think both things have to happen in order for the Lions to win here. They have to have a great game from Goff, and they have to completely shut down Brock Purdy. If they can do both of those, they deserve to win the football game. I just don't think that they can do both of those. And if I'm the 49ers, I understand the situation of they have to beat us in both categories. So make sure that they fucking don't beat you in one of them. That's all I can tell you. So, hey, really quick though, 51-point over-under. Don't know if you guys set them or not. Bryson, over or under?
I'm going to go with the under in this game. These are two defenses playing at a high level. I just mentioned I think the Niners offense is going to struggle more than people think. I don't think they're going to shut down Christian McCaffrey, but I think they're going to be too reliant on him. He's going to slow down come the fourth quarter and not be as explosive. And it's going to come down to a defensive play to end this game. I have it being somewhere around 27-23 for the Lions.
Man, I'm right there with you, Bryson.
Under.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Bryson, for all the same reasons. I see the under hidden. I think that if the over hits, then it's going to be the Niners in the Super Bowl. If the under hits, I think Detroit has a chance in this one. That's the ledge I'm going to die on, the ledge I'm going to stay on. I see the under hidden here. Like you said, Detroit's defenses look much better. I do see some holes with the Niners offense where they could get exposed by this excellent, rush defense. So I'd love the under in this one. Riggs, are you looking at this one the same way? Do you see if the Niners win this game, the over's also going to have to hit here?
I'm stuck on this because I genuinely, in the bottom of my heart, like all gimmicks aside, in my heart, I really believe the 49ers put up at least 27 points in this game. I really, really do. And so I think they can win the game 27-20, 27-17 and win. But if the Lions are actually going to hang around like you guys say they're going to hang around, then I think it's over because I think they're going to have to put up at least 20. If they don't score 24, I'm telling you right now, they physically impossible. They can't win the football game. They're not going to win the game with 23, 21 points. It's not going to happen. The 49ers are going to score. So like I said, 31-20 is my projection, which is right on the money. But if you guys think they're going to make it a good football game, I will lean over, but even then it'd be like 27-24 and I'm still pushing. So my pick is a push. I'm staying off of the total either way in this game. But I guess if I gun to my head, I would go over just because I like how Goff is playing and I don't think that they can stop them. But on the flip side, I'm over here bashing Jared Goff saying he's going to make too many mistakes, which could turn into points for the other side. So that might keep points flowing. But dude, talk about a money number. I really don't know. I think it's spot on in this game. But really quickly, as we always do, going to give you guys our favorite touchdown scores of the game here. Looking at the board, shocker. Who's the favorite? Christian McCaffrey, minus 330. He was minus 310 last game. And even though it's an ugly number, I mean, the guy freaking scores. So minus 330, Ayuk at 115. Everybody else is plus money. Debo, Kittle, Montgomery, St. Brown, Gibbs, Laporta. I mean, holy smokes. The list just keeps going here. So, Bryson, looking at these guys, who is your one and only?
I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs in this one. I know it's really dangerous taking a Lions running back because we talk about it every time we talk about this team. Either one of them, it could be Montgomery or Gibbs that scores. I think there's a good chance both of them score in this game, but I'm going to take Gibbs in this one because 3 straight games with a touchdown. He has 5 in his last 5 games, and he has the ability to do it both in the passing game and in the run game. So I don't know if it's going to be a rushing touchdown per se, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the more dynamic of the two backs. In a game like this, you put the ball in your best playmaker's hands. I think that's what they're going to do with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs, a ballsy one, man. Ballsy one.
I love Gibbs in this game because it does seem like they've been tending to give him the ball a little bit more inside, the red zone, inside these 20, inside the 10. They see that he's a tough runner. He's an elusive runner. He's a good guy to go out and get him touchdowns in this part of the field. But I'm looking at another guy on that Lions offense. I'm looking at that tight end, Sam Laporta. Dude's been a dog the entire season. I know it's a little bit of a narrative. He had that knee brace. He's been dealing with a little bit of a knee injury. Didn't look to be an issue last week. And you have to believe 3 weeks coming off the injury, he's going to be completely fine in this one. I think if they're going to win in this game, they're going to have to compete against the secondary, against these middle linebackers. And Laporta is the perfect target out there. He's kind of proven to be Goff's number one target. I think down the field, it's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, but in the short and medium passing game, he loves finding Laporta out there. I think he's a shoo-in to get in for this game. Riggs, what are you seeing?
Man, first of all, love both of your picks. I do think Bryson's pick actually, weirdly, is a scarier pick, even though the 49ers rush defense is kind of the one place that if you're going to expose them, that's where you're going to expose them. And this run game likely is going to expose them there. I can't lie about that. But I'm always stuck, man, because I swear to God, every time I say Gibbs, it's Montgomery and the flip happens. I had Montgomery to score last game. I had Gibbs in a parlay, thank God. But I can't do that. And then last week, after watching them give the 3rd and 4th string running backs touches inside the 5-yard line, I don't really want to play fire with that one. I love Sam Laporta. I would take him every game with my eyes closed against any defense in the league just to do it. He just gets so many end zone looks. I think I have to go with the 49er here because that's the train. We're going with guys on our team that we're taking. So as much as I want to go George Kittle, I got George Kittle last week at plus 130, and I don't think him at plus 105 is really a fair number. So the value's gone there. I can't take Debo because he's not playing. I do like Brandon Ayuk, but you know what? I'm going to go a little bit different, even though it's kind of boring. I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey, but I'm going to parlay him with the 49ers to win the football game. And I'm just going to do it like that because I don't want to lay the 7 points. And I do think if McCaffrey don't score, they don't win the game. I don't think that's a secret to anybody. You guys both did point out how good, though, that rush defense is. Could Brock Purdy throw for 4 touchdowns and McCaffrey doesn't run one in or catch one? I guess maybe, but that's a tough world to see happening. So I'm just going to go McCaffrey and the money line in a parlay, ride that to the bank. I think between my pick and your guys' 2 picks, it's tough to see 2 of those not hitting because I think if the Lions win the game, you guys very well might go 2 for 2 on those as well. So a lot of different things that could happen here. Gentlemen, any other thoughts here, guys? Bryson, any closing thoughts, man, based on either game, AFC Championship, NFC Championship, any players you're looking out for, anything wild that you think is going to happen, or just any other wild props in any game that you think we haven't talked about yet?
I don't know about any props or anything, but just as a Broncos fan, as long as it's not the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I'm a pretty happy man to this one. But either way, I think it's going to be really cool. You have a chance here. You have a 75% chance of a quarterback winning his first career Super Bowl. You have a really good chance for a team winning their first Super Bowl in franchise history with the Lions. I think that's always really fun to see. This has been one of the more exciting playoffs just because of all the narratives and storylines that are happening. I think this is about as good a championship weekend as we could have gotten.
I agree. Hirsch.
No, I completely agree with you, Bryson. Just a couple things real quick. This is a ballsy call here. Ballsy. I don't even know what the number is. I'm assuming it's some gross plus money. But
I'll find
in
it.
that Lions, in that Lions game, I think I'm gonna have to sprinkle Zach Ertz to get in the end zone.
Oh
Fuck it.
God.
Why not? Why not? We know that he loves throwing to tight ends. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they can advance him through, you know, and get him ready for that game. But I think that he could get a couple of targets there. And we all know what Zach Ertz can do with the ball in his hands. I mean, it's risky. I know I already said Laporta's going to score, but fuck it. Why not? I love it, you know. And then just one other thing I want to say, you know, Riggs and I, we're going to have Riggs has the AFC Championship game article coming up. I'm going to have the NFC side. Make sure to keep looking out for those. We're going to give you a complete breakdown, including all of our best picks and props from both of those games leading up to a crazy weekend.
Yeah. So Zach Ertz, first of all, I think going off of what you're saying, though, if anyone's going to steal one from Laporta, it's probably going to be Zach Ertz. So I don't think you're on the wrong train there. Pretty wild, though. If you look up his odds, they are like night and day on each book. I've checked 2 books in the last 20 seconds, and I've gotten plus 475 on DraftKings or plus 800, twice as good on FanDuel. Yeah. So make sure you guys look around. 30-1 to score first on DraftKings, 40-1 to score first on FanDuel. So it sounds like FanDuel's better, but make sure you guys check all your other books as well. Get yourself the best number. Whenever you have variants like that, you really got to go ahead and try to find the best value. So, I mean, do you want to bet $100 to win 475 or 100 to win 800? I mean, come on, be smart here. So that's what you guys got to look up there. But I'm going to throw out there 2 fun props, and I was so freaking close to hitting them last week, and it's got to happen eventually. So I'm going to take in both games each team to score 1 touchdown and 1 field goal in each half at plus 2,200 and plus 2,500. If you hit either one, you make a shitload of money. And I do think that at least one of these games is high scoring. I lean towards the Lions game for that prop just because we kind of all said the under is probably calling us in the Ravens game. Anthony went over, but going to be close either way. So, but I think you got great kickers. You got Justin Tucker, Harrison Butker. They could easily both bang one through. Both offenses are probably going to have to keep scoring shot for shot relatively often to stay in the game. So I like those in both games. You guys want to just live a little bit. I know everyone's still struggling with that Tyler Bass thing, but Justin Tucker, Harrison Butker, I mean, overall, in both games, you have great kickers. So any kicking props are probably pretty safe this weekend. Not a lot of snow, nothing crazy going down. So good luck to you guys there. Hey, it's been fun, guys. Please give these guys a follow. Bryson Owens at Bryson Owens 16, Mr. Anthony Hirsch at Anthony Hirsch 23. Guys, we're giving away $100 to 5 of our subscribers on YouTube. If we reach 250 subscribers by Valentine's Day, we're going to show you guys a little love on Valentine's Day if you guys show a little bit of love to us. So please go over there, click that subscribe button at The Sports Forum on YouTube, and make sure you guys follow us on socials at Denver Forum. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the games this weekend. Hope it's a lot of fun. Bet smart. Don't bet anything you can't afford to lose, even though we're probably going to give you guys winners, and have a great weekend. We will see you guys next week.